It home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez.
From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing asses. She's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
Wow, Fridays, I like to have a little bit more fun, maybe unwind a little bit, but I also know that we should reflect on what the frickin' frack has happened this week. I don't even know where to begin because things happen so fast and so stupidly these days. Because I see this video of Dementia Donnie, draft dodging Donnie, saying that it wasn't nearly long enough for the USS Lincoln to be out there. That they should be out there longer. Like he doesn't care. What? Again, I will never he uses Republicans, the GOP, MAGA, all use the military as a prop, as their little we are patriotic. We're the only ones that care about veterans. We're the only ones that can provide them support. And here, materially, quantifiably, we can demonstrate. But we did before when he said he didn't like John McCain. He didn't think he was a hero because he likes his heroes don't get caught. Aren't prisoners of war. They don't get killed. And he's also said that members of the military are suckers, that the ones who die in war are suckers. I don't know how much more plainly, how much more clearly, because he says it. He doesn't care. And then I want to know, to my hate listeners, and I love that we had a listener, I think it was Carl from Kankakee, said about the hate listeners. I love that there are hate listeners, but I just want to know how that Doge check is coming for you. How is that going for you? Did you go on vacation? Did you buy a boat with that? How's that going? How much debt are we in? Remember, he said, do you remember how much money Elon Musk said he was going to save? I feel like I wish I had something to give away. Without looking, can anyone remember how much he said Doge was going to save American taxpayers? Does anyone remember? Here, Jim's on the top. I'll just say Jim right away. Jim, do you remember how much Elon Musk said we were going to save with his Doge cuts?
I think he was going to save his golf fees, Patty. I think something like that. He was going to be able to golf free at Mar-a-Lago for the rest of his days. I mean, it's ridiculous. But, Patty, what encouraged me and was music to my ears was every Democratic person who won the primary talked about Medicare for all.
Right.
That was like the first thing out of their mouth. And that has been the white whale of my life since I was a kid in college. I could never figure out why in the heck we couldn't get Medicare for all when they had it in Europe and they had it. Why do we have to suffer this for-profit insurance? To me, it's just a scam. To pick on sick people and when they're really at no position to pony up the dough when they're really sick. Yeah. And I know that. You got to get doctors behind it and so on and so forth. But I was really didn't you hear that? I heard that from almost all of these candidates for the Democratic House and Senate. And I think that you have to have a will to do this, Patty. It's not like you wake up one morning, we're going to have it. It's a will. It's like a drip until finally the dike gives out, and that's what we have to have. I know I might not live to see it, but I just think it'd be. Think about what a marvelous thing it would be, because whatever profession you thought about as a kid, you could almost go into anything, and you know that at least if you're in an accident or you're getting into an accident or some disease overtakes you, that you're not going to be left out in the cold.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting you say that. We had this policy advisor and former legislator from Massachusetts on this week. Last night, John McDonough, right, who talked about how it was Reagan. You and I have talked about how much changed after the 1970s when it came to health care and regulations.
Sure. And now that, but it went through the ceiling. I mean, now, when I was a kid, the most menial job you got, this is like in the 60s, early 60s, the first thing they would give you was an insurance card. You were insured for any medical thing. But it's gone so exponentially higher and higher and higher that the profit is so great in it that they don't want to give it up.
Yeah. Well, that was why when I asked John, is there a way to go back? And he said, well, we don't want to go back. Well, I mean, back to regulating, managing the massive profits that are made by healthcare corporations.
Yeah, absolutely. We're dying under an avalanche of money. I mean, you can see it everywhere. I mean, first of all, Patti, there were no billionaires when I was growing up. Right. I mean, now you can throw a rock and you hit one. But, I just think of like Jimmy Carter. And I think Jimmy Carter, for instance, Habitat for Humanity. Mm-hmm. He was the exponent of free and fair elections around the world. And if you compare to this guy, it's like night and day. It's like turning out, you come into your bedroom, you turn off the switch and it's dark, and you turn on the thing and it's light. That's the difference between these two gentlemen. Right. And God almighty. But I'm encouraged by that, Patti. I don't think you're going to give this up. Zayed in Michigan, the wonderful woman in Flanagan, who's part Native American. These are wonderful candidates. That the first thing out of their mouth is, we need this. He said cradle to grave. Now, Zayed ran the medical, some of the medical in Michigan, the whole state of Michigan. I don't know what portion of it or whatever. But he said cradle to grave insurance. And it's such a load off your mind knowing that you can get a general practitioner, because that's another thing, Patti. The Europeans have a general practitioner. Usually it's like a family doctor they've had for years and years and years. Yeah. So you can go to them and say, this is wrong
funny.
and this is wrong.
Do you have a general practitioner, by the way?
Mine died. Listen to this, mine died. But his father delivered. My mother was a triplet. He delivered them.
See?
And listen to this. He broke his neck on a house call, and his son was my general practitioner all my life until he passed away. But if we had any problems in the family, you just call him, and he would come out, or whatever the case may be. I mean, but they weren't in it for the money, Patti. You know what I mean? They weren't in it for the money. I mean, you can see tradition. His father broke his neck on a house call, fell down the stairs. The light wasn't. This is like the 30s,
Yeah.
And then he went out. But my point is, you'll see any European health. It's imperative to have a general practitioner that you can call. You got the mumps, you got this, you got a cold, you got this, you got that. Where you don't have to. Look at this vaccination thing. 3 or 4 times to a doctor. How in the hell do you know what doctor you're going to get?
Not just that, but they don't make one that separates them all. Those are currently all the MMRs are all made. They don't have them separated out.
No, I know, but think of the poor person. Let's say
terrible.
The person's transportation. Say you've got a baby, and your transportation costs out on you. Now you're supposed to go to 3 different doctors. You're supposed to have 3 or 5 appointments. This is Kennedy's insanity. And to do what? To do it when you've got the shot all at once.
Yeah.
And to sell you this baloney. I mean. Every doctor in the country is blowing the horn about this because it's just nuts. But you're putting the onus on the poor person who's got to go with his baby to the hospital 4 different times, and you might not even get the same doctor. So they have to go through the what do you get? The MR, you got the bumps, you got this, you got that.
Rubella,
I mean, this is they're pulling us to I don't know what, Patti. But anyway, you have a great weekend, Patti.
You too. Appreciate
thank you very much. Thank you, dear.
Thank you. We folks, I do want to. I don't know how to address this because I do get a lot of texts about the programming on the weekends. But we do have a new show that we're going to be highlighting soon. on the weekend. So I'm very excited about that. We've got Ellie Krug, we've got Edwin Eisendrath, we've got Out Chicago with our good friends Scott and Ellen, and there's another show. And I'm trying to remember the new show that's coming on. We'll figure. I just got the email. We're gonna have the host on soon. But we've also got My Labor Radio with Mark Gavart. We've got all kinds of stuff going on at WCPT on the weekend, so we're good. And we're also, I do need to get our friends in studio, Lady B. We were talking about doing an all Spanish hour, and I want to do that during Hispanic Heritage Month, which is from the middle of one month to the middle of another month, which is very unique. Lady B, can you join me? So one of the things that we have run into is that all of my friends who are comedians and of Latino backgrounds, a wide range, Mexican, Puerto Rican, I've got Ecuadorian, all my friends, nobody feels necessarily confident that they could talk in Spanish for an hour in the way they would feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to find, and then I can't moderate it. It's challenging, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So,
but I think we can do it.
yeah. We have to figure it out. Maybe we would.
I speak Spanish, you
Okay.
know, and the only time I use Spanglish is when I get nervous.
Right, and they can do Spanglish, which is fine.
Right.
Which is kind of the whole point. Maybe we pre-record it and then air it so everybody feels confident what they did for an hour. So I just do a show with them. So at any rate, here, Patti would love. I will take programming notes. By the way, would love if you had a periodic segment devoted to listing the failures of the toxic clown in the White House. I could make that a set. You know me, I'm good for suggestions. I like that. Lady B, also, if I may suggest, I would suggest congratulations to your mother. Happy birthday. I did not know it was her 90th birthday. How exciting.
She had a great time. My cousin who came from New Jersey, he was, when we went to see her, she didn't recognize him because it was just me and him.
Right.
Okay, and then when we celebrated, he was like, she might not remember me, and I was like, look, she will. Trust me. She's going to see all of us together, and she'll remember. And she did.
Aww.
That big smile from, oh my God, from here to there. It was great. And she's like, is that him? Is that El Chiquito?
Oh, that's
little man,
lovely.
little man. Yes, it's Jonathan. He said, come here, where you been?
Oh.
It was so great. And he was happy. He was crying. He was like, yes, you remember we used to joke and you picked the kids up and it's like they're grown. He's like, yeah, they're big. My great grandma, she remembered.
Oh, I love
It
that.
was a great moment. I was like, oh my God. It was so nice.
Well, and it's, as we get older and we care for our older parents, you and I both, my mother she's 91 and it's interesting, because, when you start to get like nervous and then those moments are just so glorious,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
That's so lovely.
It's big. It was like, wow. I just can't express. It was just wow.
That's great. Yeah. That's a wonderful moment. And cake and music and all the things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's
We
her
bought
favorite?
Her favorite strawberry, New York strawberry cheesecake.
Okay.
She loves that.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, it's rich. Okay. Lady likes what she likes. That's good
Yes.
stuff. Amazing. Well, wonderful. Well, congratulations to you, your family, and especially happy birthday to your mother. So she's a Leo too.
yes.
Hello. Rar. Rar. Yep. I love that. Let's continue. We've got the phone lines open if you want to join our conversation, 773-763-9278. And coming up in the show, we have an interview with Penelope. She's a representative from Michigan State Rep Penelope Cernoglu. This is a crazy story that we talked about a few months ago, an investigation into Interlochen Center for the Performing Arts in Michigan. Really horrific story about Jeffrey Epstein's relationship he went to camp there, and apparently For decades, there has been ongoing grooming, sexual harassment, according to this investigation. We'll talk about that after 6 o'clock. And then coming up at 6:30, we're going to talk to Dr. Caitlin McHugh-Glab. We're going to talk about the Myopia Collection, a new initiative aimed at rallying the profession of optometry and its allies to interrupt the status quo and realize a new standard of care for children with myopia. All these conversations on my show are brought to you, of course, by all of our station sponsors. Go to WCPT Heartland Signal. Go to heartlandsignal.com. That's the website, heartlandsignal.com, where you'll find information about all of our sponsors. And please frequent them because if you support them, they continue to support us. It's a nice little circle of love. That's all I'm saying. And on this show, we are proud to have sponsors like Pride Coffee Roasters. Go to pridecoffeeroasters.com and put it in an order for some of the best single origin roasted to order coffee beans you have ever had. That's pridecoffeeroasters.com. They'll be joining us again at the Jefferson Park Sunday Market coming up on August 23rd. And they also will be in Skokie this weekend and other markets that they frequent. So please go to pridecoffeeroasters.com and find out where they will be next so you can join them. We also want to thank our friends at Source Solar. Go to source.solar and put in an order for some of the best make an appointment. I just combined two breaks because I'm trying to find another read I need to do. Go to source.solar, make an appointment with Peter Sorellis. Maybe it's time to get solar panels on your house or your business. He has partnered with Illinois Solar for All, and that will help you with the financing. Again, make an appointment with Peter Sorellis to find out if it's the right time to get solar panels on your house or business. We also want to thank our friends at Minocqua Brewing Company. Go to minocquabrewingcompany.com and put in an order for some fascist tears. They are delicious. Again, that's for MinocquaBrewingCompany.com. Of course, hello to our friends tuning in on Minocqua Brewing Company's Substack. There's a great company that I read about today on their Substack. Really fantastic company called By Robin Creations. You can get some of her mosquito repellent. Maybe you've been bitten and you want some afterbite itch relief, some great soap and hair care products. That's all at MinocquaMarketplace.com. And we are proud to be collaborating and working with and just so honored always to have our friends on from the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and we'll be joining them for their walk out of the darkness Chicagoland walk. Every step you take could save a life. Join the Out of the Darkness Chicagoland walk presented by the Happiness Project on Saturday, October 3rd at Montrose Harbor. This isn't just a walk, it's a movement, a day to come together, to heal, to bring hope to those who need it most. And your presence matters. Your voice matters. Proceeds from the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, fueling critical programs that save lives. Take action today. Sign up now at chicagowalk.org. That's chicagowalk.org. Let's turn awareness into action. Together, we can bring suicide out of the darkness and into the light. I want to thank everyone for joining us, tuning in digitally, perhaps, on Facebook, YouTube, and now Minocqua Brewing Company Substack. Of course, we have our podcast available at heartlandsignal.com, and we are so thrilled to have our friends tuning in on KKNW 1150 in Seattle on overnights. And of course, we're broadcasting out of Chicago on WCPT 820. It's the Heartland Signal. Join our newsroom, too. They catch the stories that shape our democracy. More in a moment.
You know that you can listen to Chicago's Progressive Talk on WCPT AM 820. Stream us live at WCPT820.com and on the TuneIn Radio app. Or you can ask Alexa, Siri, or Google to play WCPT from TuneIn. But now you have another option. We're simulcasting our programming overnights. 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. on WSBC AM 1240 for a clearer reception in and around the city. Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820. And now overnights on WSBC 1240 AM, where facts matter.
Hey Chicago, Joe Fontana here, founder of Fry the Coop. At Fry the Coop, we serve the best chicken sandwiches in the world. And no, that's not an opinion, that's a fact my taste buds personally signed off on. At Fry the Coop, we hand bread every single piece of chicken, double fry it in 100% beef tallow, and we hit it with our secret Fry the Coop spice rub like it owes us money. The result? A Fry the Coop sandwich so crunchy, juicy, spicy, sweet, salty, and savory, it feels illegal. Fry the Coop has a one-of-the-kind one-of-the-kind sandwich that makes your taste buds high-five each other. Don't like it? No problem. We guarantee happiness or your money back. But don't worry, you're not going to need it. We now have 10 Fry the Coop locations around the Chicagoland area. So no matter where you're at, there's a good chance there's a Fry the Coop 15 minutes away. And we're a local Chicago company, born and bred, for the people, by the people. So come down and support your local boys and get the best chicken sandwich in the world. Right here in Chicago, right here at Fry the Coop.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
I want to go back for a second. We do have the phone lines open. I'm going to take your phone calls in just a moment. But I started talking about Elon Musk and those Doge tariff rebate checks that people were planning vacations on, and they were all this stuff. Because I just can we go back? Can we go back? I want to go back because so much happened so fast. Let's go back to February 2025. We were so, Lady B, do you remember how young we were? We were so young. We were so young. So Elon Musk was running Doge, right? And making it. Didn't he come out somewhere with like a chainsaw? Wasn't there?
Yes, he did.
I came out with a chainsaw. Okay. So he got a pitch. I don't even remember this name. There was a guy named James Fishback. There's so much has happened since then, right? So Fishback's idea was Doge will save us. Nobody called in. You know what? Did anyone call in with a number about how much Doge was going to save us? Okay. Nobody called in. Nobody texted because so much has happened. We forget. Do you have a number? How much? And it's more than $1 billion, Lady B. Do you remember how much they said they were going to save us?
$1 billion and 10 to what? 15 billion, something like that.
He said they were going to save us. Wait for it. Oh, I was like, it's not funny. It's not funny. I was like. Okay, sorry. Okay. It's not funny because it's hurting people, but it's I'm laughing out of hysteria. This is hysteria. $2 trillion. They said they were going to save us $2 trillion, and they said they were going to take 20% of that, cut a check, and send it to every tax-paying household in America. You guys wait. I bet you every day MAGA runs out to their mailbox and they're like, "This is the day. This is the day we're gonna get that Doge check." Okay. Do you remember how much they said they were going to send us? I think I opened with it. Do you know how much they said they were going to send us? $5,000 each. Mm-hmm. I'm staying hydrated, folks. $5,000 each. That's what it was going to be. And Musk said he was going to check with the president. Not that so this is like Fishback's idea, right? Well, that math doesn't work. We haven't saved a dime yet. We'll check with the president. It was like, let me just check our schedule. Like it's some sort of a lunch reservation, right? And Trump runs with it. He says it's incredible. We're going to have these tariffs are next. I'll talk about those next time. But nobody got new furniture for their living rooms on those Doge checks, did they? So here's the thing. It's not funny. It's making me hysterical. I don't know if you guys saw this. This report's been out for a month, and the media. I don't know if it's because I don't even want to talk about why. The Government Accountability Office, so not a bunch of Dems sitting in a basement, right? It's this administration's accountability office. It's a nonpartisan federal agency. Their entire job is to count things accurately. So they went and did the math, And apparently, okay, folks, not only was the math bad, they didn't do the homework. Maybe the dog ate their homework. Maybe the dog is...
That's what happened. I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, get your doggy bags out and pick up that homework in the dog park is all I'm saying. So 96% of the grant savings, remember, because they cut grants to organizations across the country, they couldn't verify. The Accountability Office can't verify if there was any savings with that. By the way, they wanted to be clear. They couldn't disagree with it. They just couldn't verify it either. So $27.4 billion in contracts at Doge. Remember they said they canceled all these contracts? Those were never canceled, by the way. Which is, I guess, thankfully, I'm just saying that for all the people who are like, we're gonna cut all these grants, we're gonna cut all these savings, they actually didn't do that. They said they had 108 leases that they had ended, right? That they were being phased out. That also, they were already being phased out before, so that was already happening. Couldn't be counted as part of any of their savings, and they claimed $1.7 billion in savings on a Pentagon IT contract. $1.7 billion that they actually never terminated. They never terminated. Still active. They saved money on a contract that still costs us money, which is not efficiency. I don't know. I'm sorry. Okay. So the $2 trillion, it was never $2 trillion. The actual number they put on the wall, they actually have a wall of receipts. Remember Doge had a website. They had a wall of receipts, like what? They have here's the crime board. Remember, like whenever they have detectives, like with here are all the suspects. The actual, at any rate, there's no check. There was never going to be a check, and the math required $2 trillion to even work. So here's the thing: is actually our deficit is. Did anyone check this today? The deficit is up. I believe it's to $1.8 trillion deficit. Even Ron DeSantis is saying that Doge failed. The U.S. budget deficit has surged. And I just can't. It's soared to its highest monthly level amid a surge in Medicare costs and as an interest on the federal debt continues. So a lot of it is also the federal debt interest rates as well. It is the big single month jump. The red link across the first 10 months of the fiscal year rose to nearly $1.8 trillion and surpassed the same period a year ago. So all those savings from Doge, I just want to, we're at trillion. And now they're saying that all the additions to the White House are going to cost over $1 billion now, by the way. Remember this? All these things? Okay, let's take a break here. Take your phone call at 773-763-9278. More after this. Oop, I have to find the button. Here it is.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. A flood watch in effect tonight. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely with heavy rainfall possible. A low temperature around 71 degrees with east winds at 5 to 10. Showers and storms off and on through much of the day Saturday with a high temperature of 84. Just a slight chance of storms Sunday, high of 84 degrees. Monday, sunshine, 79. Tuesday, sunny with a high temperature of 82 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 78.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter. The Hal Sparks radio program.
Pardon my voice today. After this show, I get to rest my voice.
But in the meantime, it's Prime Jesse Ventura.
Yeah, that's not bad. So,
hey, Johnny, how about you take some questions from the chat when we come back? I'm going to use Burt Reynolds' voice the rest of the show.
Nice.
We'll be back right after this.
Hal Sparks, Saturdays from 11 to 1 on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk. Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Patti Vasquez is taking your calls now.
We need to speak out about this.
At 773-763-9278.
Hello.
It's Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
We We are taking your phone calls. Let's go to Hammond, Indiana. John is calling in from Hammond, Indiana. How you doing, John? What's on your mind, my friend? Oh, hold on. I hit the wrong button. See? It happens. Hey, John, there you are. Hi.
Hey, hi, Patti. Hey, couple things. One, down here in Northwest Indiana, it's like Armageddon with the power outages.
Oh, my God.
It's been terrible.
I'm so sorry.
It's been terrible. Well, I've got power. My girlfriend only lives a couple miles from my house. She's out. She's been out for 4 days now. It's just terrible. And the thing about it is nobody out here mentions climate change. Let me give you a scientific fact. So if you have dry air at 85 degrees Fahrenheit, let's just say, it has X amount of energy at that temperature. Temperature equals heat, which is energy. But if you have humid air, which basically is steam has 5 times. So at the same temperature, 85 degrees Fahrenheit, if it's 100% humidity, you have 5 times more energy. So these storms that have been coming through are explosive in their power. It's kind of like landlocked hurricanes, I've been calling them, and they just blow over everything.
That sounds right.
And but no, the real reason for the call was you gave us such a wonderful story yesterday about North Avenue Beach. I had to chime in.
Yes, please.
I tell you, I mean, you just brought me right back. I used to live over on the Gold Coast years ago, and that was the hangout, North Avenue Beach, right? But here's the story. My father passed away back in '93, and so the next year in '94, I went to Europe and I traveled 700 miles on a bicycle to see my dad's homeland in Poland.
Oh.
And I went to Poland, Sweden, Denmark, and Germany. And when I came back after 2 months, one of the things I did was I said, well, I'm going to go downtown and go to my old stomping grounds over by North Avenue Beach. And when I was up there, so you remember, like you said, where the boathouse was on the side facing Oak Street Beach. You got there were some concrete blocks that you could sit on. It was kind of like benches, but they're really concrete blocks. So I was just sitting out there kind of reminiscing about, the beautiful skyline and my trip. And this lifeguard walked by, and I started talking with this guy, young guy, really, just a nice young man, lifeguard. And that's what brought me to, back from your story yesterday. I thought about this lifeguard. And he started telling me a story. He goes, were you around 2 weeks ago or 10 days ago when that boat sunk off out of Diversey Harbor? I go, yeah, I vaguely saw that in the news. There was a large party boat. It was a big boat, cruiser, and it had a wedding party on it with the bride, the groom, and all the relatives. They were all on this boat. And he said he was working that north end of North Avenue Beach where those boats come out of Diversey Harbor and they make that turn to the south. And he said he watched this boat taking on water. He got hit by a big swell, and that boat took on water and started sinking. And,
oh, my God.
Yeah. And so he's running over there to the rocks so he could jump in and try to rescue these people. And it just so happens there was a Chicago cop up there, a sergeant. He says, what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm going to jump in. I think I could save a couple of these people.
Oh, my God.
The cop goes, no. He goes, I just radioed for the police boat. He'll be here in a couple minutes. And if you know where the police boat, I think they station them right outside of over there by the Chicago River, right at the mouth of the river. So it takes them 10 minutes to go around, and to get over to North Avenue Beach. And, you only have seconds when you have a drowning victim. And this young man, he knew that. So he's ready to jump in. And this cop's like, no, you are not jumping in. I got it under control. I've called the boat. They're going to be here in a few minutes. And this poor kid looked at me and he said, I think 2 or 3 people drowned that day.
What year was this? What year was that?
It was 1994. It was either, I think it was late August of 94.
Wow.
And, the look on this guy's face of he's got to live with this memory for the rest. He could have saved these people's lives, and he knew it. And I said, listen, hold on. This guy basically usurped your authority as a lifeguard, and those people's lives are on his head. That's number one. But number two, let's step back and take a lesson from this. And the lesson is this. If you see something or you need to do something that's deep in your heart that you know is right, it doesn't matter what anybody in the world says. To hell with them. You do what you think is right and what's deep in your heart. And that is how you go through life. That is how you live life. You don't go by what other people say. To hell with them. The only thing that cop could have done is shot you. If he shot you, that would be one thing, but he wasn't going to shoot you.
Well, I would say this, John. One of the, and I mentioned this yesterday about how we were trained, is that it's not. We had military we had veterans, right, that were training us. And and you're right. I mean, like, it would make me crazy. I think most of the guards, one of the things I'm struggling with is that, so Diversey Harbor, when guards are working North Avenue Beach, there's a whole group that are actually set just like separately from the whole, like the sandy beaches, right? We had beaches in front of the boathouse all the way up to what's called Beach 5, which was also manned by the guards that were sent to near the theater on the lake. That guard, so there was there should have been and I don't know, because I stopped guarding in 1990 at North Avenue. So there used to be a medical trailer at the point at Fullerton, right? That Fullerton exit. Right. And there should have been a separate radio, and they should have been I'm just saying, when I was there through 90, there were different mechanisms in place in order to have a chain of command for reacting to a tragedy like that, a catastrophe like that.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, though, Patti, is this poor young man, you could see it in his eyes, you could hear it in his voice, how distraught he was about this. He's carrying that. And he could swim right down to the bottom out there. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't more than 10 feet deep, maybe 12 feet deep, at most 8 to 12 feet. He could have rescued those people, or at least got them out and give them a chance to be resuscitated, But anyway, I wanted to share that story with you.
Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And I think I've talked about this when I was guarding at North Avenue. There used to be people. So this is my thing about water safety, wearing life jackets. I mean, it makes me crazy when I see folks out. And by the way, I'm trying to look this up. The closest I'm finding is a 16-year-old girl drowning outside Diversey Harbor. That's one. And then there was another in June 12th, 1995. A 16-year-old Taft High School student drowned just outside Chicago's Diversey Harbor during a birthday outing on a speedboat when the vessel unexpectedly lurched into reverse, took on water, and sank. Could it have been 1995 in June? Do you remember?
Because I could tell you it might have been the girl, but it was definitely 94 because I came back from Europe in August, and it was either August or September of 94.
Gotcha.
And it was a wedding party, and maybe I got my dates crossed, and maybe it was 95, but I know at least two people that drowned that day.
Yeah. So often, as we saw recently with this horrifying accident, this boat that killed a Marine recently, alcohol is not uncommon. Is very common in accidents like that. The driver of that boat was drunk. From the story I'm reading in 1995, there was alcohol involved in that one. So a couple things: alcohol-related boating accidents. We don't treat it the same as we do with driving, even though we know people are out there driving with under the influence. Life jackets are another thing. And for me, being in places those are boating accidents. I was on a rescue near the Water Reclamation District. There's the property that is south of Oak Street Beach. If you come around like Ohio, kids used to dive off a platform that's there that hangs over the water. And unfortunately, we pulled someone out of the water who did not survive. So just like I'm sure that stuck with that poor kid for the rest of his life. When I was a guard at University of Illinois Champaign-Urbana, we had someone who tried to swim the length of the pool holding his breath underwater and passed out underwater, went unnoticed by the guy. Don't even get me started on that one, because that.
Oh God.
Yeah, that family. It was horrible, and I'm sure the guards that I work with, I was not there, but just horrifying. And so I loved that job. I think that we need to be, I have worked with legislators in the past trying to get water safety class. You remember when we were a kid and we had stop, drop, and roll for fire safety?
Sure.
We need the same when it comes, because a lifeguard might have been able to help, but we also need people that have more awareness, situational awareness of being in the water. And if you start with kids, as annoying as they are, like, when they're in the kitchen, Mom, what you use if there's a fire, you use baking soda, or stop, drop, and roll, all those things. Kids come home with the information they learned at school, and it goes, it goes up generationally too. So I'm a big advocate for that. We haven't been able to get that done. Nationally, there are no programs like that. So we all need that. Thank you so much, John. I appreciate your story.
Patty.
Yep, thanks.
Have a great weekend.
You too. Let's take a break here and continue our conversation on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KKNW 1150 in Seattle. And, of course, all of our friends tuning in digitally on Facebook, YouTube, and now our friends on Minocqua Brewing Company Substack. And all of our shows are available as podcasts on heartlandsignal.com.
This is WCPT telling you how you can shop blue. Looking to have a barbecue this summer? Well, let's take a look at some of the sides and condiments that support the Democratic Party. French's Mustard. French's Mustard is owned by McCormick. McCormick as a company does not give to politics, but some of their senior leaders do, and their donations tend to lean more to the left. Heinz Ketchup. Heinz Ketchup is owned by Kraft Heinz. They are about 50-50 in their political donations, but with some senior leaders and others employees' donations, 7% more of their donations went to Democrats. Mount Olive Pickles. Now, Mount Olive does not give to politics, but some of their senior leaders, including their CEO, donated to Democrats. Also, Mount Olive did pull on an event in North Carolina after seeing that a Confederate flag was present. Bomb Pops. Bomb Pops are owned by Ferrero. Ferrero does not give to politics, however, some of their senior leaders do, and they slightly lean more towards the left. It's a very small amount, though. This has been WCPT telling you how you can shop blue.
Because facts matter. You are listening to WCPT 820.
Here's great news for those Chicagoans heading up to southern Wisconsin. Should you ever forget to load up on progressive brews from the local favorites like Rogers Park Provisions or Park West Liquor in Lincoln Park, Minocqua Brewing Company beer is now conveniently available at Dream Liquor and Cigar in Kenosha and in the Lake Geneva area at Delavan Liquor and Smoke in Delavan. If the great town of Madison, Wisconsin is your jam, please remember to swing into the Minocqua Brewing Company tap room at 2927 East Washington Avenue to grab some Resistance beer, pizza, t-shirts, and progressive camaraderie.
Patti Vasquez is taking your calls now.
All right, let's hit it.
At 773-763-9278.
I got a lot to say.
It's Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
I mentioned earlier one of the best ways you can support the work that we do here is by, frequenting our sponsors, which you can find on heartlandsignal.com, and also my sponsors, PrideCoffeeRoasters.com, Source.Solar, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. You could always use your support, regardless of whether or not they're sponsors, obviously. We also want to thank our friends at Minocqua Brewing Company, and we've got our friends, the CFL, Chicago Federation of Labor. Don't forget Eddie Fest and the Labor Day Parade on September 5th. We'll be joining them. Come see us. We have a tent and everything. We'll be handing out some stuff, probably some stickers with my silly face on it. If you're watching on Facebook Live, basically this face, my silly face is going to be on your stickers. But there's another way you can support us and the work that we do here at WCPT and Heartland Signal. As always, the best way is to support our sponsors. Tell them you appreciate them advertising with us. And if you're on Facebook, there's another way. You can now subscribe to the WCPT 820 and Heartland Signal Facebook pages. A subscription is 99 cents a month. It's 99. Come on. Who came up with that price? Even Politics Bar is charging $6 a month. Come on, folks. 99 cents a month. I love Politics Bar. The cocktail recipes that they have. I'm usually cooking dinner when I listen to them. By the way, Lady B, I know that they've told you they want me on the show. Do you know what's really weird about it? I don't think I can. Because I'm a fan of... You know what's weird? I got your microphone. I can. I know I can. I'm capable of it. But it would be surreal now at this point because I've been listening to their show for so... it's just... you know what I mean? It's just weird. Yes. But I'm like, I can't... They're my show. So if I do their show, then I come home and then I'm listening to me on their show. I don't listen to me on my show. It's just weird. So anyway, no, I love them. So I look forward to talking to them at some point. I will reach out, I promise. At any rate, our subscription is 99 cents a month on Facebook, and we have some special offers for our subscribers. So visit us, WCPT 820 and Heartland Signal on Facebook, and hit that subscribe button. And we also have a free newsletter. So at any rate, I need to tell you, your picture is wonderful, and you're going to hang it on the fridge. Which one? Let me see what your picture is. I'm getting some texts in. We're going to take your phone calls. Here. Dear MAGA, your $5,000 tax rebate checks from Doge must have got lost in the mail. I don't know. Again, I think the dog ate it. Let's get to Steve in Des Plaines. What's on your mind, Steve?
Hey there, Patricia Vasquez. A couple things I want to touch on. I'm not hydrated. I'm dehydrating. So I'm sucking on coffee. God's greatest gift to mankind. Coffee.
Fair enough. I've got Diet Coke going, so I hear you.
There you go. A couple things. You mentioned the drownings. It's a hot button for me. I think every first grader in this country should go through a swimming training.
I know.
It drives me crazy when I hear a 14-year-old boy drowns in the Chicago River or a lake in Wisconsin or the Chain. It drives me insane. It shouldn't be happening. It just shouldn't be happening.
Right. Yeah.
And anyway, I aside from that, you're talking about health care. As a veteran, I'm fully vested with the VA, and I can't imagine not having that coverage.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for it. I mean, I earned it in a sense, but still, I think that it should be available to everybody. And I've turned into, I guess I've turned into a socialist because I think we should nationalize healthcare, take the profit margin out of it completely. And that's radical talk, I'm sure, but I think, we always brag about, the richest country in the world, we're this, we're that. We ain't shit in lots of ways.
Hold on a second. Whoa. Hold on a second. No, so I got, sorry, Steve, we're going to take a break. I have to make sure that I know you're very passionate, but I've got to move on to the next call just to be safe. Steve, that coffee got to you, my friend. Let's go to Dave in Hoffman Estates. How you doing? How you doing, Dave?
Hey, Patti. Surprise.
Yes,
instead of boring you guys, instead of boring you and Warren tomorrow with the Chicago quiz. But anyway.
No, you don't bore us at all. And thank you again for the kind card last week for our anniversary. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm glad you like. And that Trump's thoughtless and careless statement about the 250 days or whatever on that for those sailors and Marines and that wasn't long. That's about as thoughtless and as careless as if you recall back in his first term when he called up that Army Ranger Sergeant LaDavid Johnson's widow and said that he knew what they were in for and stuff like that, and that
they signed up for it. Yep.
He probably would have used that same excuse for those that were at the debate on that plane too, and then he tried to deny it. And that Florida Congresswoman, Frederica Wilson, had been in the car and said it happened, and she was backed up by that soldier's mother that they had heard that time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
and
I don't know how I don't know how members of the military keep falling for it, or if it's just that ingrained. It's like religion, right? Where if they have this deeply entrenched idea that Republicans are patriotic, that they support the military, when Trump has constantly, repeatedly, nonstop demonstrated the opposite.
Yeah, well, that's to my dying day, I will not understand how a Vietnam veteran can follow and vote for this Trump.
Agreed.
Now look at it. I mean, he suckered them out and called them. Now he's suckering out their grandchildren, possibly.
Yeah.
You look at it, and then this other crap where Trump wanted to refit the aircraft carriers back with a catapult.
Yep.
Well, I guess he did say he wanted to take America back.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was going to be back in the 40s and 50s.
Next thing you know, Dave, we're going to be pouring hot oil on other countries.
Big fireballs.
Yeah, we're going to have arrows, bow and arrows with flaming torches on them. Yeah. That's the next thing we're going to be doing. You're going to be out there with muskets. Which would be fine. I would be totally fine if the rest of the world went back to just using muskets and cannonballs.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'll leave you with this one. I'll leave you. This morning I read, Tyson Foods to exit more beef plants. When cattle in short supply, meat packing companies have been squeezed by lowest cattle supply in decades. The Arkansas-based company said it was shuttering its Joslin, Illinois plant, which employs more than 2,000 people. And they were told that closing time yesterday, Thursday.
Yeah.
They were closed. No notice given to these people. So apparently they were non-union, and and they would mention some other states like
in Washington, Utah. Yep.
Yeah, and this was the same company, if you recall, during the COVID time. Remember when those chicks over at the chicken plant were taking bets who's going to get COVID?
Yep. Yeah.
And I think they got sued pretty good for that. So, but
hopefully.
Anyway, I just thought I'd leave that with you, and I know you got to go on break pretty quick.
Well, I hope that you will call in tomorrow while I'm on the air with Warren Price. Hawk Takes the Wheel at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Thanks, Dave. Have a good one.
Okay, you too. Be well.
Thanks, bye. Roosevelt, you just sent me a link to another check that was promised to us. What's on your mind, Roosevelt?
Okay, that's exactly what's on my mind. I remember the $2,000 rebate, but I thought it was the Doge thing, so I was wrong about that because I remember a total of $7,000.
Yeah, $5,000 for Doge, $5,000 for Doge, $2,000 for tariffs. No, it's actually $9,000 because then he said we were also going to get $2,000 for health care to choose our own health care. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep. So he promised us $9,000 altogether last year. Every taxpayer.
So the reason I remember is because there's these two knuckleheads that I call up from time to time on another station in Spanish. They have an hour of politics, and they're MAGA up to the gills. So I remember both of them making fun of me. They go, "Hey, why don't you send us a check when you get it, the $2,000 that was."
Yeah.
And they were making fun of me, and they were laughing and say, it's going to be coming soon and next month. And then I kept on, and I forgot all about it till you mentioned it just now. But I remember, like I said, $2,000 for tariffs. Yep. They were, that's right. They were defending this guy on the tariffs that he was going to send us a check for $2,000. Yep. Also, I want to talk about this if you have time.
Well, I got another caller who I've got on hold. So 20 seconds so I can get to Al too.
Well, then save it for another time.
Okay.
It's not that big of a deal.
Oh, I appreciate it,
Thank
Roosevelt.
you.
Very kind of you. All right, let's get to Al in Franklin Park. Hey, Al, what's on your mind, my friend?
All kinds of stuff, but and it's all crazy because they want us to be busy with all this gish gallop of information and not paying attention to the important stuff, which is getting the vote out. But you were talking about Elon, and you got to remember that one of the things that Elon did was steal all our data.
Yep.
And him and Peter Thiel are using that to profile us and figure out how to make us lose in the upcoming election.
Yep.
And the government is doing a lot more with technology and AI. Oh, and these guys are using technology and AI. And we got to kind of catch up on our side there. And the last thing I want to throw in there is I'm finding out that with Minnesota, they are trying to prosecute some of the demonstrators because they've had plants in some of their meetings.
Oh,
and
really?
And I got to verify it. And and some of these plants went in there and tried to make people be more violent.
I was going to say, I bet you they were instigating. Yep, that sounds right.
They were trying to instigate.
Yep.
Exactly. And I heard that today. And, you just got to be aware of this because they are using so many dirty tricks against us.
Yeah. Hey, we saw it during the George Floyd riots when it was MAGA smashing windows and escalating things there. I've got to run to the break, Al. I'm so glad we got to talk, though.
Okay, and it was our government this time doing that.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah. Yep. Thanks. Let's take a break here. We come back. We'll continue our conversation here on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150, and all of our friends tuning in digitally. Thank you for being here.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. You might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this: Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person, complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundle today at progressive.com.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. New economic data out today showed disappointing retail sales last month. Jennifer King has details.
American shoppers, the backbone of the U.S. economy, cut their retail spending in July, an unexpected slip of 0.6%. It's the biggest drop since May of 2025 and raised concerns on Wall Street. Heather Long, chief economist at Navy Federal Credit Union, says American consumers are showing signs of fatigue. The July snapshot found consumers spent less on gas, automobiles, car parts, appliances, electronics, and online shopping. While it's too early to sound a retreat, the data released Friday by the Commerce Department, along with a sluggish jobs report, could be good news for those waiting for lower interest rates. Many economists still expect solid growth for the third quarter, but in the wake of the retail sales report, many have lowered their forecasts. I'm Jennifer King.
The United Arab Emirates said today Iran fired drones at 2 tankers in the Strait of Hormuz operated by the UAE's state-owned oil company. No casualties reported. Meanwhile, Damian Troisi reports oil prices swung higher.
Oil prices remain volatile amid uncertainty over the U.S. war with Iran. Higher oil and gasoline prices have fueled inflation, squeezing household budgets. 2 reports this week showed inflation remains stubbornly high. Damian Troisi, New York.
U.S. gasoline prices have been creeping higher this week. AAA puts the national average for regular grade just below $4.08 per gallon. Stocks closed lower on the day, but for the week, the S&P and the NASDAQ finished higher, while the Dow was down, a little more than 300 points. In a Manhattan court, Luigi Mangione today pled guilty to federal charges in the killing of United Healthcare's CEO, U.S. Attorney Jamie McDonald.
The result achieved today now allows our office to seek the maximum penalty allowed, life imprisonment.
Mangione's lawyers are now seeking to dismiss a separate New York State murder case on double jeopardy grounds. This is AP News. In Italy, police have recovered a cache of stolen art worth millions. Charles Taladesma has the story.
A statement from the Italian Carabinieri's Art Recovery Squad explains the paintings were discovered during searches ordered by prosecutors, but no further details were given. They disappeared earlier this year from a private museum near the northern city of Parma, police say. The 3 recovered paintings are Fish by Auguste Renoir, Still Life with Cherries by Paul Cézanne, and Odalisque on the Terrace by Henri Matisse. The Cézanne's valued at $7 million, the Renoir $3.5 million, and the Matisse at $23,000. Local media reports that the thieves took the paintings in less than 3 minutes and escaped across the museum gardens. The crime follows a series of high-profile heists at major European museums. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
And more stories at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
This is 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. A flood watch in effect tonight. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely with heavy rainfall possible. A low temperature around 71 degrees with east winds at 5 to 10. Showers and storms off and on through much of the day Saturday with a high temperature of 84. Just a slight chance of storms Sunday, high of 84 degrees. Monday, sunshine, 79. Tuesday, sunny with a high temperature of 82 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 77.
If you're drowning in debt, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender, about a fresh start debt consolidation refinance. Today, meet Jordan, 47, project manager, married to Jackie, 43, executive assistant, combined income 260 G's a year, living in a $600,000 home with their 3 kids, called to pay off $120,000 worth of credit card debt, high interest rate consumer loans, and 2 401k loans. Team Hochberg loan officer Cindy Piazza helped Jordan and Jackie pay off their debt, eliminated their stress with the Team Hochberg Fresh Start Debt Consolidation Refinance, which saved them over $12,000 a year. Team Hochberg's helped thousands of radio listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. That number again is 855-563-2843 or visit that website you know and love, 56david.com. Atlantic Coast Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 643114.
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's progressive talk from TuneIn.
Driving it home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing asses says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue our drive home here on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150 in Seattle, and KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul. And we are so grateful for our friends who are tuning in on Facebook, YouTube, and now Minocqua Brewing Company Substack. We also want to thank you for checking out our podcasts at heartlandsignal.com. Again, that's heartlandsignal.com. And if you subscribe and share with your friends and family, you can help share the conversation and have everyone join us. We would appreciate that as well. We also want to thank our sponsors. Thank you to Pride Coffee Roasters. Go to pridecoffeeroasters.com and put in an order for some of the best single origin roasted to order coffee beans you will ever have. This weekend, I know they're going to be at the Skokie Farmers Market. I wish I could join them. I'm going to be in Elkhorn, Wisconsin, talking to the Walworth County Dems. So I will have to just enjoy my Pride Coffee Roasters coffee at home as I do, every single morning. So go to pridecoffeeroasters.com and you can have it delivered to your home with a bean subscription, or maybe you want to pick up some swag. They've got their swag, things like Sounds Gay. I'm in. It's my favorite hoodie I own. So go to pridecoffeeroasters.com. You can also visit source.solar, because if you go green, you save green. Maybe you want to have an appointment with Peter Sorrells. He'll walk you through the entire process of getting solar panels on your house or business. He's partnered with Illinois Solar for All to help you with financing, and he'll walk you through that entire process. Again, that's source.solar. And as I mentioned, we are on Minocqua Brewing Company Substack. If you check them out and subscribe to their Substack, you can also find out about their great marketplace today. By Robin Creations is being featured. You can get some great mineral toothpaste. It helps you with the enamel on your teeth. That's for adults and for kids. There's also some great soaps and lotions, all the things that you need to feel good about yourself and not give money to those big corporations that donate to MAGA. That's MinocquaMarketplace.com. And we are proud to be working with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. We'll be joining them for their Out of the Darkness Chicagoland Walk. Every step you take could save a life. Join the Out of the Darkness Chicagoland Walk, presented by Happiness Project, on Saturday, October 3rd at Montrose Harbor. It's not just a walk, it's a movement, a day to come together, to heal, to bring hope to those who need it most. Your presence matters. Your voice matters. Proceeds support the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, fueling critical programs that save lives. Take action today. Sign up now at chicagowalk.org. That's chicagowalk.org. We can turn awareness into action together. We can bring suicide out of the darkness and into the light. And these are really great events where we gather. We're going to be there with our own tent and table and joining them. We'll also be at the Chicago Federation of Labor's the Labor Day Parade on September 5th. Eddie Fest is back in the 10th Ward. We will be there. The parade steps off at 11 a.m. Go to ChicagoLaborParade.com, and we look forward to seeing you there. Those are all my announcements. My guest has been very had to watch me like part memorize, part read scripts. It's a lot going on. Hey, Dr. Caitlin McHugh Glab. Is it Glab?
Yes.
Is it not Glob?
Glab. Yes.
Glab.
Yes.
I love that you kept both names.
Thank you.
Is that because I did too. It's just one of those things when you get married. I've known your dad for fracking 30 years. It's crazy.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm trying to stay hydrated.
Good. I know. Me too.
Keep all that going. So I remember when you were going to school. I mean, I've known you since I think basically before you were born.
Yeah.
It sounds like, which is weird for me. So first of all, what made you decide to go into optometry?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I knew I wanted to do something in the medical field. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. I, kind of looked around when I was in college, and when I was in college, I was able to do a May term. So we had a month where we could go and shadow a doctor, and I chose to shadow an optometrist in Bloomington Normal and Dr. Tallis, and I just loved it. I had a friend, his name's Eric, he's an optometrist as well now. He went to school with me, and he's like, I really think you would like optometry, and kind of pushed me into that direction. And the more I thought about it, I knew I wanted to work with kids as well. So when I was thinking of, professions, especially in the medical field, I thought an optometrist would be something that I would be able to maybe not be such a scary doctor to come see, and, just kind of be able to kind of help children's vision. And I've really been very happy with it.
And I don't think people realize how much neurological development is connected to our vision.
Oh, yes.
What do you want to tell them about that?
Yeah, I mean, when children especially are in school, I mean, you have to see to learn, it's such a big part of your learning that I don't think, even if you can see well, your brain and eyes may not be working together to process.
Right.
So, your child might see the board and they might see far away, but they might not be able to interpret or be able to appropriately see that image. And so our brain and our eyes work hand in hand, and they need to work well together to be able to function.
And I think you're right. You're not just a scary doctor to come see. I mean, I have not come to see you specifically, but I don't think I had an eye. I mean, I'm trying to remember eye exams, because I remember like in the 70s and 80s, we had these hearing tests, we had these eye exams, and it all kind of blends together. I mostly remember going to the doctor more often for glasses, because all my friends were wearing glasses and I wanted to as well.
Yes.
That's really like how I ended up with. I didn't really. My husband still makes fun of me because I didn't need them until really a couple years ago.
Into.
But even like, let's talk about the work that you do, because you have you're a change agent, which is very formal.
Yeah.
For the Myopia Collective. Tell us what this initiative is.
Yeah. So myopia, first of all, is where you cannot see far, or nearsightedness. So like, I'm nearsighted, I need glasses to see far away. And we are seeing so many more kids become nearsighted sooner than they ever have before. And we want to be able to catch it quickly and be able to educate other practitioners, the public, legislators. We want to educate everybody to make sure that we know what this is and why it's so important. And the reason is, it's not just having harder times seeing far away. There are things that can happen with higher prescriptions. And if you start out with a younger eye, becoming nearsighted sooner, they can have a higher prescription as an adult. And when you're an adult, there are things that can happen that can affect the vision, like things like retinal detachments, things like called maculopathy, which is essentially central vision loss. And it doesn't always happen, but your risk gets higher and higher with the higher the prescription. So if we can keep that prescription lower, the risk goes significantly down. And we also think of things like when you have a lower prescription, it's easier for you to walk around without glasses on. You get up in the middle of the night, you can find the bathroom. But if you have a higher prescription, that like just day-to-day stuff becomes more difficult. So if we can actually do something about that, that's the goal.
Yeah, I have. I'm married to a man. Hi, Steve, who has a significant prescription. Let's put it that way. Is that a good way to put it? Significant.
Yeah. Yes.
You have a significant prescription, and it does seem to be genetic.
Okay.
His mother. I think I've told you the story before, and I actually share the story in speeches that I give, because she was about 7 years old when she got her first glasses, and it was when she realized that those big blobs on trees were actually leaves. It was the first time she saw leaves.
That was my first. When I got glasses as well, I was like, I knew they had leaves. I didn't know people could see them.
Oh,
yeah.
How old were you?
I was about 12. I was in like 6th grade.
Jim, why were you waiting so long to get your daughter glasses? This is what happens when you're a road comic for a long time. But again, so this is, I mean, not to shame, our parents, right? But it is something that it doesn't seem to be a focus because in part, health, like our health system puts dental and vision as secondary elements to our overall health. And that's been true for a long time, right?
Yes. So it's interesting because it is considered separate, but it plays such a role into your overall health. Like we have patients, I can catch diabetes in the eye. I can catch high blood pressure. I can catch MS in the eye. Like, so there's things that we can see that can be systemic. So when I have patients that come in and, I say, we need to look at the health of your eye, not just the prescription. We need to look at the retina and everything. And a lot of people don't understand why. And I'm hoping everything looks good, but that's what I need to do. I need to do my job and my due diligence to make sure you are healthy, not just your eye, but your body is healthy.
Dr. McHugh Glab is looking at me because I am looking around trying to think when I had my last eye exam because my eyes aren't I don't struggle that much. I have like a 1 maybe sometimes it's cheaters, and even then I'm okay.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years.
Well, here's your sign. Go get an eye exam.
It's not great, is it? Also, it would be the same time I think I also went for my dentist.
It's all right.
I
always say whenever people come in, they're like, oh, it's been a while. I'm like, but you're here now. It's okay. So you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay. All jokes aside, folks, this is not just my sign. I'm guessing it's a lot of people's sign. And I think COVID threw a lot of us off.
It definitely did. It was interesting because a lot of people came in more often because they were on screens and were very concerned. And then a lot of people were nervous about coming in. Right. So I've had some people, even now, like, I haven't been in since before COVID, Yeah. And understandably. So, I mean, it was a, interesting time. So
this is not just your sign, folks. You're not the only one.
Yeah,
I am
totally. Absolutely.
I have no shame in saying I have been remiss.
Yeah. It's all the time, and it's our job too, as optometrists in the eye care professional world, like to educate on, why it's important and why we do what we do. But
my optometrist, she's been calling. I'll be honest with you, and I just ignore her. I know her. That's just so embarrassing. It's really. I think that might even make it worse. I'm like, yeah, I know. I want to talk to you. At the farmer's market. I'm like, yeah, no, I see you, Doc. It's fine.
It seems like I can see you.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's fair. You mentioned that kids are being diagnosed at younger ages. Is that because of the screening, or are there other contributing factors that we might be aware of?
Most likely, yes. We haven't had like a specific study that's come out that says like, yes, this amount of screen time, indicates that you're going to be nearsighted, but it's definitely a factor in that. And it's nice now. I feel like a lot of parents are realizing this. So I'm speaking more to parents about what kind of screen time and what you should do. So like for every patient that comes in and they ask me, I honestly just tell anyone who has a child in front of me what I recommend, but like limiting our screen use, limiting up close screen time. I usually say like every at least maybe 30 minutes, give it 5-minute break. Prioritizing outside time is really actually the number one thing I would recommend.
What?
We actually know that sunlight can actually, for children who are not yet nearsighted, it can prevent or even slow down the start of becoming nearsighted. So anyone who's
heard this.
Yeah, so any kid who comes in who is not yet nearsighted, especially with a parent or sibling, I'm like, keep them out, not keep them outside. But
why do you think Gen X has such good vision?
Seriously,
we're drinking hose water. We're coming in when the street lights come on.
Yeah. But it really plays a big role. So I'm always, even if they already are nearsighted, I'm like, getting them off screens is great. And if they are going to watch TV, I'd rather be on a TV than a tablet or phone.
Right.
As much as you can.
Does posture, I mean, I know this sounds weird, but like it seems like hunching over would also put a strain muscular.
Totally. I mean, visual hygiene is a big thing. We talk about it a lot, and I'm guilty of it. I'm constantly slumping over, but we talk about like good working distance. So if you make like a fist, put it under your chin and at your elbow distance, like that's how far something should be from you when you're looking at a screen. But yeah, you can look up pictures of like how you should be sitting, and it does play a role. For sure.
It's funny because I do
visual fatigue.
I do walk around with like devices like up here. I look crazy when I'm like at the store and stuff, but I'm always looking up because your body, the body weight just takes a toll of slumping over.
Yeah.
Let me see if I have any questions coming in real quick because let's see. 1 second. Please ask what county. Oh. what county you're. Where are the McHughes from? We have an Irish question. Let's go. You know what, Dogman? I will go ask Jim. Do you know what county in Ireland your family traces back to?
I want to say Galway, but don't quote me on that.
We'll find out. We'll have to ask Jim.
Yeah.
How often do you see patients who have cancer in the eye? I mean, you're pediatric primarily. Yes.
Correct. Fortunately, I do not see that often, but it is something that can come up. So you can have choroidal melanoma in the eye. There are things called like retinoblastoma, which can happen in pediatric patients. So it's something that we look for. So, when we want to make sure that that is not happening, that's another thing we look for when we dilate the eyes. So fortunately, it does not come up often, but it is something that I'm always looking for.
Yeah, no kidding. That's wild. Well, so let's take a break here because I could talk forever with Dr. Caitlin McHugh-Glab. She's the change agent. She is a change agent. How many change agents are there?
That's a great question. We just introduced a few more. There should be at least one per state. Okay. And we have some students that joined the Myopia Collective Change Agent group this year. So there's a good number of us.
All right, folks, you have your walking orders so far. During the break, think about how often you're making sure your kids are spending time outside, where you are looking at your devices. Put your hand under your chin and prop it up, and then you should hold your device at that eye level or up. Is up good or not too far up? I'm just saying. In the 70s and 80s, we had TVs on the floor, which was stupid. I'm just saying. More after this on WCPT. If you have questions or comments, you're welcome to join our conversation. 773-763-9278. That's 773-763-9278. More in a moment, again, with Dr. Caitlin McHugh-Glab. And you can go to focusedeyecarebg.com for more information about the work that she does. We'll be right back after this on WCPT, KKNW, KTNF, and of course, all of our friends tuning in digitally on Facebook, YouTube, and Minocqua Brewing Company Substack.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
There are many times I thought, I can't do this. I mean, what parent isn't worried about? What am I not doing right? What am I not doing enough? And then I realized, wait, that's being a parent.
Don't worry about being perfect. I've had around 3 other mother figures in my life, but only one of them has taught me how a mother loves.
The greatest reward for me is he makes me better every day.
I would tell a family considering adopting a teenager that teenager, whoever it is, needs you, and they need what you have to offer.
Taylor's given me hope. He's our son, and that is what he will always be.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council. We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad. And I feel very proud to be his son.
I was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk, where facts matter.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-5555. 3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk and
Or
Pete.
Pete.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. We continue our drive home here on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150, and KTNF AM 950. I'm talking to, we're having a wonderful conversation with Dr. Caitlin McHugh-Glab. We don't know the origin of her family's lineage in Ireland, but we will find out during the 6:30, because we'll have a few minutes after 6:30. She's a change agent for the Myopia Collective, a new initiative aimed at rallying the profession of optometry and its allies to interrupt the status quo and realize a new standard of care for children with myopia. So we were talking off the air, and one of the things I mentioned is you have a beautiful young son. Emmett is just adorable.
Thank you.
And I just flashed to how old my boys were. In particular, Declan was always, he got things earlier because I was like, oh, I should be doing this for Griffin, my older son.
Sure.
And I remember a dentist, you just mentioned, well, you're here now, right? When people feel like, oh, I waited too long, I should have been here sooner. I had a dentist that shamed us at Resurrection Hospital, and I'll never forget that. And he was griping about dental insurance and all the things that didn't matter for what my son needed in that moment, which I think made it a little bit really was painful. I still remember it.
Sure.
And I remember thinking in 2000, he was born in 2003. I don't even know where we get information, right? Even then, I could have Googled, but I was kind of going along. I don't remember it happening for me. I don't know how my parents figured out this whole system.
Right.
There isn't necessarily a plan. There isn't a checklist for us.
Right. And that's something that we've talked as a profession, how do we get that information out to parents, to schools, when these exams should be happening? We're trying to fuel that. That's on us too, to make sure that, our patients and everyone knows when they should be coming in for appointments.
Yeah.
It's not something I think the other thing too, especially for kids, I have parents come in with their kindergartner, because it is required in Illinois for all kindergartners to get an eye exam.
Right. And we should probably do it before then, though.
Correct. The recommendation is 6 months, 2.5 years, and then kindergarten age.
Yeah.
So, but not many parents know that. And I think a lot, they'll be there with their child and then they'll have their 2-year-old with them. They're like, oh, we'll be back here with a few years. I'm like, actually, we could see him. Do you want to schedule him now? We could do that. Sometimes I'll even sneak him in if I can, that appointment, if they're able to. But, I think a lot of parents don't realize how much information we can get from young patients.
Yes.
They don't need to know their letters. They don't need to, I do like them to sit a little bit still, but I can work with it. We can make things work without them. And that's not a traditional eye exam. Pediatric exams are very different from an adult eye exam, even from a 5-year-old eye exam. So we can get a lot of information.
And I have a son so my younger son has, since we last spoke, we have a definitive diagnosis for him, which is called, he has a very rare genetic disorder called primrose. He's only the 53rd person in the world who has primrose. And so for him, he has very low language reception as far as we don't actually know, even at 21, what he understands. It's always been sort of fluid, things come and go. But I remember when he was 3 years old, because we needed to get Griffin's eye exam to go into kindergarten. So I brought Declan and we did both of them. And I kind of felt I was oh, I'm late. Right. But to your point, Declan doesn't necessarily sit still for a traditional eye exam. And this woman was extraordinary. I'll never forget how great she was. But yeah, anybody can receive an eye exam.
Absolutely.
If a child who has autism
absolutely
behaviors.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do exams all day long. So it is something that, it's nice sometimes to have some information of what if there's triggers for sounds or lights that I won't use certain things, things like that. So that helps me. But otherwise, I'm a lot of us, especially those who see pediatric patients, are very comfortable seeing everybody.
Yeah,
so,
that's been my experience. Yeah. We have a question from our friend Al, who says, as a senior, can't too bright of a light hurt your eyes? And should we wear sunglasses on bright days? I'm going to tell you a couple of things, even before the doctor chimes in. Yes. You should definitely be wearing. And I will be honest. Sometimes I'm throwing on a pair of Dollar Tree store glasses.
As long as there's UV protection.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah. But also, if you notice, like I have to, for me, I'm prone to migraines. So like these lights make me crazy.
Yeah.
The fluorescent, these, I have to have those off.
Yeah.
And there is a wide range of light sensitivity, isn't there?
Absolutely. Yes. There's actually, now that you mention it, I don't prescribe them in my office, but there are specific lenses that are migraine lenses for light sensitivity. So it's interesting. There's so many things out there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I actually, people will tell you, like, there are times when I come in with sunglasses on, and I also, but they're not prescription, and I probably should see an optometrist for migraine sensitivity, right?
You can, because it's definitely something that can be helped.
Because I use tinted indoor, like there's some like blue blockers and fluorescent like sensitivity ones I found on Amazon, but I should probably see you.
Yeah, there are specific ones that specifically for light sensitivity. There's like a specific brand, and they have like a patented design.
Is there a test for light sensitivity?
I mean,
interesting.
That's a good question.
Right.
I mean, there are like contrast sensitivity things I can do, but light sensitivity, that's a good question. It's not something I would test very often. Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't with fluorescent lights.
Yeah.
Like I actually have covers in my office for the fluorescent lights on
Gotcha.
the ceiling. Yeah.
I know some doctors can do like different filters and things like that to see like what eases your sensitivity.
Yes.
So stuff like that, more like response to it. If that makes sense.
The sound I make when I put on glasses that make me feel happy, like right?
It like relaxes you.
Well, it does. It does, and that's the same for a prescription.
Yes.
Yeah. When we get things that are like anti-glare, like all those elements, you know,
on the glasses.
Yeah. What are some of the things that are important to look for when you are getting fitted for glasses, and for whether it's for your child or for yourself?
Definitely. So I think a proper fitting pair of glasses is number one.
Right.
You want them to fit your face. You want your eyes to be well centered. To a point, there's certain like different prescriptions are better suited for different size glasses, different shapes, and that's what like opticians are trained to do. I always recommend anti-reflective or anti-glare, one, so that it looks nicer when people look at you, but also we're on screens, we're driving. There's so many things. You will never regret getting anti-reflective or anti-glare. Anything else is kind of bells and whistles. If you want them to turn dark, great. You know, it's not required, but some people love them, some people don't.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Mine have clips. I love my clips. I'll talk about those all day.
Are they clip over? Like
they're like magnetic little clips. I love my clips.
You have adorable glasses. They make them for those glasses?
They do.
Super cute.
Thank you.
Do you adults or only for kids?
Oh, everybody.
All right, then. Yeah. I'm going to come see you.
Please.
Let's see. What could be the reason to see an occasional white flash in the periphery of the eye? Well, I can tell you one thing could be migraines, but go ahead.
It could be migraines. So there's certain things. So like when I hear something like that, there could be migraines. It's called like a visual aura. It could also be like a flash or floater is another thing we think about. So flashes or floaters could be a sign that the vitreous, which is the jelly part of our eye, is tugging on our retina, which is the seeing cells of our eye. So that's something I would recommend an eye exam for, because that can be something that I would recommend being seen for.
Yes, go see 847. Please go see. Do you know any doctors in Cary, Illinois? Just asking.
I do. Can I look them up?
Yeah, we'll take a break here. Look up 847. Let me know if that's what your neck of the woods, because that's what I'm getting from the phone number is all. So if you have an area you want the doctor to refer, or if you already have one, disregard. But
I do.
We are hanging on. So we're going to have a short segment when we come back in just a few moments. Maybe we'll bring Jim in to tell us where his family's from in Ireland. More after this on WCPT, KKNW, KTNF, and all of our friends tuning in digitally. We also want to thank our friend Dr. Caitlin McHugh Glab for sharing all this great information. Go to focusedeyecare.bg.com. More after this.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. A flood watch in effect tonight. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely with heavy rainfall possible. A low temperature around 71 degrees with east winds at 5 to 10. Showers and storms off and on through much of the day Saturday with a high temperature of 84. Just a slight chance of storms Sunday, high of 84 degrees. Monday, sunshine, 79. Tuesday, sunny with a high temperature of 82 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 77.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy.
Wow, Charles Barkley?
I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
Sure, Chuck. That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for, open 7 days a week.
Oh, can I use your ATM? My dog walker only takes cash.
Anything for a neighbor.
Can I try the catchphrase?
Sure, take it for a spin.
There's no fees and minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
Nice, Chuck. I'll take it from here. Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bank guide for details. Capital One and name member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Kevin Love. Sony Pictures Animation's film GOAT is out now, and we've created something special to go with it. Inspired by the film, GOAT Beyond the Game is a free curriculum that gives kids creative ways to support their emotional well-being. Designed to help kids build their confidence, stay focused, and navigate their emotions, the program brings the film's core themes into the classroom through fun activities. These are evidence-based tools that actually work and will help kids discover they have the power to change the game. Visit kevinlovefund.org and download it today for your classroom or family.
The Thom Hartmann radio program provides all of the intelligence, information, and insight you'll need to win the water cooler wars. Weekdays 11 to 2 right here on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk, where facts matter. This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Heading up to southern Wisconsin. Should you ever forget to load up on Progressive brews from the local favorites like Rogers Park Provisions or Park West Liquor in Lincoln Park, Minocqua Brewing Company beer is now conveniently available at Dream Liquor and Cigar in Kenosha and in the Lake Geneva area at Delavan Liquor and Smoke in Delavan. If the great town of Madison, Wisconsin is your jam, please remember to swing into the Minocqua Brewing Company tap room at 2927 East Washington Avenue to grab some Resistance beer, pizza, t-shirts, and Progressive camaraderie.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us and continue our conversation here on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal. I haven't asked Dr. Caitlin McHugh-Glaub how old she is. Doc, I'm not going to ask you, but I've been doing comedy for 31 years. Jim.
Yeah.
Hey, Jimmy McHugh. Comedian
Hello,
Jimmy
Patti.
McHugh joins me in studio, who I've known for the whole time.
Yes.
I think you were headlining at St. Charles Zanies the first time I was your MC.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah. And buildings that are no longer actually existing
It
anymore.
caught on fire on accident.
Yeah, I'm sure that was the case.
Just saying.
Yes.
Super proud Papa. I got to
Oh,
mention.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
she's what a great kid.
It's all, when you have kids, you just want them to have a good life that you have a vision for, and you want to, we were on the road, so we were doing comedy and stuff like that. So I owe a lot of the credit to her mother, who's in the green room. So she's done all the work. Obviously I was there at some point. So, but
hey, I knew one comic who raises kids from cruise ships. Fred Klett never came home.
Right.
Never came home. Yeah, it was wild. Three boys.
There's
That's
just
a
certain
sitcom.
things you didn't.
Really
you didn't
is.
want to miss. You don't want to miss little things. So
Well-
you got to be around for that. And luckily enough, back in the day, we had plenty of clubs in Chicago, so you got a chance to put your hat up in Oak Brook or downtown or Naperville or North Shore. You had plenty of places to work, so that was good.
And also, I wanted to let you know that Jim has always been one of the kindest comedians I've ever had the pleasure and funniest guys I've ever known. Always great to work with him. So,
Well, thank you, Patty,
That's the
and you as
best.
well.
He's the best.
We've had a great run. We're still running.
That's
we're still
right.
running.
All right. So please ask the guest what country her family came here from. Ireland. They have a guess. Do you know?
I do.
All right. They guess County Mayo.
No, it's Williamstown, County Galway.
What? You were right.
So I was right, Galway.
Yes, Galway.
Okay.
All right. Have you been?
I have not been. It's on my to-do list, my bucket list. I know.
Jimmy McHugh.
Got to get there.
Come on.
The weirdest thing is now with Google Earth, you can actually look on your tablet or whatever, and you could type in, and I could be in the center of Williamstown County, Galway, looking around going,
I'm requiring it. Everybody, make sure you're taking care of your eye care, your eye health. Go to focuseyecarebg.com to learn more about the work that our good friend Dr. Caitlin McHugh-Glaub does. And Jimmy McHugh, so good. Let's not do it like this. Let's have a whole segment with you and me and Tim Walco. Do I press anything, Lady B, or are you taking it over? I do. I'm going to go to the break, and we're going to have a conversation with the state representative from Michigan, Penelope Cernoglu, in a moment.
You know that you can listen to Chicago's Progressive Talk on WCPT AM 820. Stream us live at WCPT820.com and on the TuneIn Radio app. Or you can ask Alexa, Siri, or Google to play WCPT from TuneIn. But now you have another option. We're simulcasting our programming overnights, 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. on WSBC AM 1240 for a clearer reception in and around the city. Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820. And now overnights on WSBC 1240 AM, where facts matter.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
I think my biggest challenge was getting through to him to understand that love is real and you have goals in mind, you have things that want to happen, and I want to help you get there.
Sometimes people tend to shy away from wanting to adopt teenagers because they feel like they've lost so much, but there's still so much to gain.
Just knowing that there's just that other person that cares and loves me out there, it feels great. And they've done so much for me, and I can only be appreciative every single day for just having them in my life.
I think it's been the best decision because I gained a son, and he's the best son ever. If I was down and out, he'd be there.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
No detours, no distractions, just bold ideas and real talk. This is Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. We continue our drive home here on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150 in Seattle, KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul. And hello to all of our friends who are tuning in digitally on Facebook, YouTube, and now Minocqua Brewing Company's Substack. And of course, every conversation that we have here on WCPT is available as a podcast. If you miss anything or you want to go back and hear it again, you can find it right there, as well as our newsroom, Heartland Signal. Subscribe to their updates and newsletters to stay on top of the stories that shape our democracy, including the one we're about to discuss. Nearly 50 adults, folks, 70 kids, decades. That's what an independent investigation just confirmed happened at Interlochen Center for the Arts, one of the most prestigious art schools in the country. Sitting right here in our part of the Midwest in northern Michigan. And here's the kicker. Here's the horrifying part. Jeffrey Epstein wasn't just connected to this place. He was a camper there in 1967. He donated money, and they named a cabin after him. Court records say he found one of his earliest known victims at that summer camp. Our guest today tried to get Michigan legislature to investigate the Epstein-Interlochen connection months before the report came out. And what happened next? The Speaker of the House stripped her of every committee assignment she had the day after she held a press conference demanding answers. State Representative Penelope Cernoglu joins me right now. Representative, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you? How have you been over the last few months since we last spoke with everything going on?
So I've been fine. I've been following closely what's been happening since the report came out, and it looks like finally at least some of the, first, it was shocking that there were actually dozens of individuals who were engaging in all kinds of abusive, inappropriate, frankly, criminal behavior at Interlochen. Both before and after the things that happened with Jeffrey Epstein. It was, very much part of the culture, if you will. And all of this had been covered up, not reported, or in some cases, reported and just nothing was done with it. And finally, we might see a little bit of accountability for some of the perpetrators.
And I know that when we last spoke, this was something that clearly the Republicans in Michigan did not want to have to address. Reading more about it and hearing just how cavalier the environment seemed to have become in this educational environment, basically like, hey, make sure you're not having relationships with the kids. It seems as though it was pretty well known on the campus, wasn't it?
It does. I read the whole report, almost 100 pages, and it was clear that these things were known. People saw them happening. Staff saw them happening. Other students were aware. So yes, there was very much an awareness of what was going on.
So tell us about the new report that they. What is there something that surprised you even after everything you'd already heard?
Well, the report did surprise me. I didn't realize. I initially thought, okay, we've got Jeffrey Epstein here doing these things. He's probably not the only one. There's probably a few other instances, but it was shocking the number that was in the report, and there's probably more. I'm sure there's more work to be done there, but there were dozens, and it was clear from that report that other adults, staff members, members of the leadership there were very aware, and they were complicit. They were allowing teachers, adult teachers, to sign students out of the dormitories and take them away, spend the night at their houses, take them alone on field trips, and just completely inappropriate, shocking, behavior. And some of them looked the other way. Some of them, actively, it seems, were just complicit in all of this. And just the level of engagement there is what was truly horrifying about that report.
Again, to remind folks, there was a report, the results of an external investigation sanctioned by the Interlochen Center for the Arts revealed that over the course of 7 decades, nearly 50 adults in leadership have been accused of sexually abusing and exploiting over 70 former students, which means, as a survivor of sexual violence, I know that means that there are many more. Is that something that folks have talked about?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there is more work to be done there. This, may very well just be the surface of it right now. I do appreciate that Interlochen, was willing to, sanction and sponsor this investigation, but I think there's still more to do with the investigation part, with the prosecution part, with making sure that the people who have identified are held accountable, because these were children, and they were in the care of adults who were exploiting them, abusing them, harming them in all sorts of ways. And we really need to just keep exploring and investigating and holding people accountable for this whole situation.
So let's talk a little bit about, because you'd been pushing for this. This was HR 284, and you had been pushing for it for months, right, before this report came out. So tell us a little bit about what information you were gathering and that was being shared with you. How long ago was that happening that you knew you had to push hard on this?
So it was definitely many, many months. We had been researching, and the things that were easiest to find were connected to Epstein. So we were kind of focusing on that and how it appeared that there was more to find there. But then in the meantime, people had reached out to us through other people or through their representatives or their families, and it seemed like there were other stories to be told, other instances that had occurred. And, I won't specifically share any of those out of respect for, the people who did share. But it seems like there was more, which is what we wanted to look into. And clearly there was a lot more, and probably even more. as we go forward will be found, particularly if the prosecutor. I know the prosecutor is pursuing or trying to pursue charges against some of the involved individuals, and I think those investigations will probably lead to more information.
So, in the report, it's noted that it did not make findings as to the sufficiency, timeliness, or appropriateness of Interlochen's response. So, what does that gap mean in practice? Like, who's supposed to fill that? There should be some sort of chain of accountability.
Absolutely. And I think that might be one of the issues we see when an institution finances its own report.
Yes.
So that certainly still needs to be looked into. I think the Attorney General's office might be a way of looking into it at this point, now that all of this has been uncovered. As I mentioned, maybe when they're doing the investigations to prosecute some of those individuals, the prosecutor's office might be able to do some of that. And I still stand by my earlier assertion that the legislature could investigate. We could investigate those things. We have that investigatory power, and that is what our oversight should be doing at this time, or a special committee to investigate. So there are options, and we remain one of them.
And how has the GOP responded in Michigan? This report came out July 31st, so almost 2 weeks ago. And you were removed because of your conduct, which clearly seems to be an act of retaliation. Has there been any noise at all, any reaction from the GOP in Michigan?
Well, the Oversight Committee chair who refused to investigate is now our candidate for lieutenant governor.
Okay.
So that could be interpreted as a reaction, I suppose.
Wow.
But certainly nothing towards backing up, the investigation or any type of indication that they might be interested in further investigation or oversight, or valid oversight. And the oversight continues to simply have hearings to try to create gotcha moments for elected Democratic officials rather than looking into real crimes like this one.
Wow. And you were removed from committees under the auspices of it was about your conduct, not the Epstein push. And you called it a retaliation and a cover, which from this angle, it seems to be the case. For folks who aren't following it, well, first of all, what did he point out as an indication of your conduct being a reason for removing you from committees? Like raising your voice? Because I've been in chambers before and heard things get a little bit raucous. Were there any specifics?
I believe they might have been referring to the fact that I asked questions. I asked hard questions in committees, but a lot of times I wasn't even allowed to ask questions. Most of the time, our oversight chair simply did not call on me because I wanted to ask questions that would, debunk their narrative of waste, fraud, and abuse. Non-existent waste, fraud, and abuse in a lot of cases. So they didn't like that I was challenging misinformation that sometimes some of our subcommittee chairs were putting forward. And I'm not going to say that I didn't challenge a lot of their incorrect assertions. And I'm not saying that I didn't ask questions, because to me, that is our role on oversight, is to participate fully and ask the hard questions and push for real oversight. So I think all of those things that I did, whatever reason may have been given, does not feel like a valid reason to me personally.
No, clearly. And so now where does HR 284 stand? Is there any movement on that at all from other legislators?
We haven't seen any movement on it lately. We actually have not been in session for quite some time. Session often ends after the budget is passed, so we haven't had session since the budget was passed, and we do expect to go back into session probably at the end of August. So there really hasn't been a whole lot going on on any fronts right now.
Would you mind laying out sort of the landscape of the General Assembly of Michigan? What is there a supermajority held by the Republicans or a majority? What does that look like going into the midterms?
Yeah, so the House the Republicans are in the majority. It's not a supermajority, but they have several more seats, so they have a majority. And the way that Michigan right now, the districts, we recently did redistricting, and the way that the districts are drawn is that there are a lot of swing seats, as it should be. So there's going to be a lot of really tough, challenging races across the state that will determine who goes into the majority this fall.
And, this is, are there paths for then flipping those seats? Are you feeling confident that?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, good.
Absolutely.
That's great.
And it did recently flip this past election. And because of the way that those districts are drawn, it will always be flippable one way or the other.
Gotcha.
But we are feeling very confident this year that we will be able to flip a lot of those important seats.
I do want to let our audience know, because we do reach many parts of the country, and I know of at least one young person that went to Interlochen, and I wouldn't want to ask her, a really remarkable young woman who was a guest on my show as a singer, songwriter, performer over a decade ago, and she's living in Los Angeles now. I still follow her career, and I just want to let folks know, if you or someone in your family or in your circle of friends know a child that attended Interlochen, and if you have questions or information, Representative Tulongo Goose, I'm so sorry. Can you say your name again, because I've lost it now?
No problem. It's Cernaglu.
Cernaglu, I appreciate it. Her office wants to hear from you. We'll have the contact information on the Patti Vasquez Facebook show page. Is there another place you want to send folks over if they have any information or questions?
Yeah, they can absolutely contact my office. It's just my name, which is hard to spell, but Enelope, and then my last name, TSERNOGLOU, at house.mi.gov.
Possibly one of the, I would say probably the hardest name I know I've ever had to do a voice to text. I'm sorry.
Yes.
And I mean, I know that this is really heavy stuff, and I appreciate you, taking this on and pushing forward for answers. What would you like to say to families who sent their kids to Interlochen and are perhaps now wondering if their child was a target or a victim?
Sure. So I also know families, of students there. I know former students, and certainly not everyone, was subject to this, but absolutely talk to your kids or your family member who went there, and if they were subject to any of this. They absolutely should report it. We are continuing to do everything we can to hold people accountable, but also knowing that certainly not everyone was affected by it.
Right.
I hope that we eventually get to a place where we find out everything that had happened and hold as many people accountable as possible, and then at some point, move on, and the institution, can continue in a way that things like this will never happen again. I don't think we're there yet. I don't think it's for me to decide even when we are there. I think that's up to the survivors, and we are listening to them, and we want to amplify their voices and continue to push for accountability.
I really appreciate that. Again, we've been talking to Representative Penelope Cernoglu, who represents the 75th District of Michigan, and I appreciate your work. If there's anything we can do to get a message out, but we would love to talk to you again for any updates, and we wish you the best. We'd love to have another conversation about your candidacy whenever you have an opportunity.
That sounds great. Thank you for talking to me.
I appreciate it, man. Have a great day.
You too.
You. Bye. Take care, bye. Let's take a break here and continue more on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150, and KTNF AM 950.
Hi, I'm Kevin Love. People see the NBA career, the championship ring, but what they don't always see is the anxiety or the moments I felt completely lost. That's why Sony Pictures Animation's film GOAT means so much to me. It's about Will Harris, a small goat who believes in himself and proves you don't have to be the biggest to be a champion.
Everyone's always told me smalls can't ball. I'm too blessed to be stressed. Everything I need to succeed is right here.
Through the Kevin Love Fund, we've created GOAT Beyond the Game, a completely free curriculum for teachers, coaches, parents, and youth programs. 4 lessons designed for kids K through 8 that cover everything from managing anger to building resilience to believing in yourself when the world doubts you. These are evidence-based tools that actually work and will help kids discover that they have the power to change the game. Go to kevinlovefund.org right now and download GOAT Beyond the Game for free.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call and click Grainger.com or just stop by.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. President Trump's been touting his record on crime in an appearance in New York this afternoon. Jennifer King has the story.
Hello, Long Island. I love you.
President Trump promoted his record on crime during a trip to a police academy in suburban Long Island.
We're showing what is possible when you finally have a president in the White House who supports our police.
New crime statistics released by the FBI Friday showed the homicide rate in the U.S. dropped more than 18% last year, and overall violent crime was down by 9.3%.
We achieved the single largest reduction in violent crime in American history.
Trump flipped Nassau County in 2024. He used the New York visit to pump up local Republican candidates.
And he's a winner, Bruce Blakeman.
And drag Democrats as he looks to boost battleground races heading into the November midterm elections.
They want to make us a communist country. They've skipped socialism.
I'm Jennifer King.
The aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln's in the midst of a record deployment, currently supporting U.S. operations against Iran. It's been at sea for more than 260 days.
Not nearly long enough.
President Trump's downplaying concerns about the crew's mental health as well as supply issues.
That ship is moving right now, or very shortly, and it's being replaced with another very similar ship.
The USS George Washington's on its way from the Pacific to relieve Lincoln. Elsewhere in the Pacific, Tropical Storm Lala's on a path toward Hawaii. John Cangelosi at the National Hurricane Center.
We are forecasting it to become a Category 1 hurricane as it nears the big island of Hawaii. It should be there during the day on Saturday, their local time.
Forecasters say up to 25 inches of rain could fall. And a magnitude 7.7 earthquake struck off the coast of Indonesia. The U.S. Geological Survey says it hit the Flores region. A tsunami warning's been issued, and residents are being urged to stay away from beaches and riverbanks. This is AP News. It's been 5 years since the Taliban regained power in Afghanistan.
In the wake of the anniversary, some Kabul residents feel safer, but they're urging leaders to focus more on security, jobs and education. Mohammed Kazim, a 30-year-old resident of Kabul province, tells the AP, "Thank God, the past 5 years have passed in safety. Furthermore, our wish and hope is for the government to create more job opportunities for the youth." The Taliban initially promised to protect women's rights, but soon banned girls from education. The UN warns that restrictions on women hinder Afghans' recovery. The UN Women's Agency calls it the world's most severe women's rights crisis. Meanwhile, officials say the mayor of Afghanistan's northeastern Badakhshan province has been killed in an explosion. This marks the second deadly attack on a high-ranking Taliban official in the region in 2 weeks. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
There's more news at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
Hey, I get it. You've been doom scrolling since 2016, and your therapist is tired of you. Good news. I'm cheaper and funnier. I'm Patti Vasquez, comedian, policy nerd, and your new favorite reason to sit in the car after you've already parked. We all do it, honestly. Every weekday from 5 to 7 p.m. on WCPT 820 AM, I break down the politics, call it the nonsense, and yeah, I hope to make you laugh while doing it. Because if we're going to resist and persist, we might as well have a good time.
Patti Vasquez, weeknights 5 to 7 on WCPT 820.
How do you know you're home? At Habitat for Humanity, we believe it's when you find peace, stability, and safety. But 1 in 3 people on Earth woke up today without a good home. Not because of chance, but because of high costs and other very real barriers. A housing crisis this big needs all of us. So let's open the door to opportunity and build a tomorrow where home is possible for everyone. Visit Habitat.org to learn more. Again, that's Habitat.org. Habitat for Humanity. Let's open the door.
This is Richard Chu with something to chew on. Dr. Abdul El Sayed just won the Democratic primary for U.S. Senate in Michigan. The voters prevailed over $60+ million of outside money. So where do we go from here? If we, as progressive liberal Democrats, really want to save our democracy and take back Congress, then we all need to lean into this election in Michigan. So let's do some donor math. If 50% of the people who voted for Kamala Harris in the 2024 election each donate $5 to Dr. Sayed's campaign, that would provide his team with roughly $200 million to wage a grassroots fight against Republican Mike Rogers. When you combine that with the fact that Dr. Sayed's ideas are better for all citizens in Michigan, it's a real winning combination. So let's get to it, progressives, and win this country-altering U.S. Senate seat.
Richard Chu, weekday mornings at 6 on WCPT 820.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
This is WCPT 820. Listen in Chicago on 820 AM or stream us live on WCPT820.com, the TuneIn Radio app, or tell Alexa or Google to play WCPT. You're listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
Welcome to the bar. It's political. Step up to the bar. Thinking critical. You'll think at the bar, wherever you are, the politics bar. With Sean Smith, Pierce, and Jody Hamilton.
Jody! On. Hey, you know what day it is? Friday. Woohoo! It is Friday. That's Friday to some of you out there. So we're very thrilled. We're very glad it's Friday because it's been a very busy week politics-wise. A lot of good stuff, some not so good stuff. We'll recap it and we'll give you today's news on tap. We'll pour you a few rounds from that today. Karen and Anita will be in a little bit later as well. Jody has one of our great shirts on. Yes, I have a story. I have lots of stories. We can talk about some of those today as well. Thank you, by the way, everybody who is joining us from any of our great radio affiliates. Whether you are joining us from Progressive Voices Radio worldwide, somewhere on the planet, or maybe you're listening on WCPT AM 850 or 820, pardon me, in Chicago. I get that confused sometimes. It's WCPT AM 820 in Chicago and AM 950 in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Yeah. Well, you know, look, Richard Chu is on both of those. We should have him back.
Yes, he is.
Thank you, by the way, if you're listening on Georgia Now Radio in the ATL, and if you are listening on the Detour Talk in the Tri-Cities area of Tennessee, thank you as well. Or maybe you are like Seth, our Homo of Hope, who is one of our future people. He is listening. By the way, Seth said today, he said, don't, freak him out. He'll come when he's ready. He'll come in the bar when he's ready, which is fine. He says when he gets here, he's just going to go barkeep. So we'll keep your ears open for that one tonight. So there you go. No surprises. No, we aim to please here, Seth. We're just trying to help you out. So, how was your Friday so far?
So far, so good.
How was your yesterday? Did you like our interview with Annie Andrews? I was geeked.
I love her. I wish I could vote for her.
Yeah, I do too. Look, you folks in South Carolina, you definitely want to vote. And the fun thing is that we put up the video over on our YouTube page of the 2 segments of our interview with Annie Andrews, and you can go watch them. Not now, mind you. Now you're hanging here in the bar, but later you can go watch them, share them with your friends. Make clips out of them, whatever.
Do.
Exactly. So, and especially if you know anybody in South Carolina, if you are joining us from the South Carolina corner of the bar, go listen to what she has to say, and then you'll probably want to vote for her. Because remember, right now Republicans don't even have their poop in a group over there. They don't know what the hell they're doing. So
nope.
Must be run by somebody like, I don't know, Pete Kegbreath, perhaps.
Jesus, that one.
It would be funnier if it wasn't so disgusting and sad and angering and, oh, my God. In the first round of the news on tap today at thepoliticsbar.com. So as we said yesterday, confirmed and headed on the way, the USS George Washington headed out to the Middle East to relieve the USS Abraham Lincoln. So here's the deal. George Washington is, I believe it's an East Coast ship. So it'll be a little bit faster. No. Now I remember. George Washington right now is in Japan. I had to think about that. George Washington currently is in Japan. So the George Washington is going to steam its way over to the Persian Gulf, and that'll take 10 days, maybe 2 weeks, and then they'll be relieved. But here's the thing. During the period of time when they're doing that, we will not have a carrier group in Southeast Asia. So if China wants to go mess around with Taiwan, we can't be of any assistance for a while. And then remember, the Lincoln is not going to stop in Japan. They want to go straight home to California.
Yeah, these guys got to get off the ship at some point.
It's weird that people don't really think about these things as machines. They think of them as it's like people that don't think about doing maintenance on your car. Right. Jody goes eyes wide. Right. Like just doing a simple oil change, fill in the washer fluid thing, changing the bulbs. Right.
Bulbs, all of those things. I mean, I literally had to sink an engine into my old car.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, that's some real work. That's no joke.
No, it was hilarious.
But people don't think about the very bit. They just, they think of it. We've talked about it here at the bar before about the milk bottle theory, about how people just go and they just go and they assume, well, when I want milk, I just go to the store and grab it off the shelf. It's always right there. Not thinking about the cow, the farmer, the farm worker, the person who transported it to where it gets pasteurized and processed, and then it gets packaged and bottled, and then it gets delivered, and then it gets loaded from the back of the store to the shelf, and then you pick it up. People, oh, well, it's just milk. I just go and a lot of work involved and there's a lot of work involved in these ships. When the Abraham Lincoln gets home, it's going to have to do, because they basically abuse the crap out of it, they're going to have to do a bunch of cleanup and I don't know if it was scheduled for a dry dock or not. Do you know what a dry dock is? Okay. I don't know if everybody knows. So a dry dock is where they basically pull a ship into a berthing area, like on a pier, but it's got a special thing kind of built around it so that you can remove all the water. So you can get all the way down in the ship.
And clean it.
You clean it, you repair it, because there are little pinholes. There are all kind of little things.
Well, and then animals that have glommed on.
Well, and other things. You hit rocks. You hit, people really, there's all kind of junk in the ocean these days, remember? And so people go, oh, yeah, they don't even think of these things. But
we had to clean our canoe going from, because we've taken it to the ocean. And so when we went to go to a lake here.
Right.
They literally said, we need to see the bottom of it because
they want to make sure there's like none of the barnacles,
no barnacles or anything on it. And we were like, no, it was clean. I mean, it's a canoe, thank God. But they had to inspect it before they even let us get into the park.
They want to make sure there's no foreign animals and stuff on it that would get in there and kill the fish and the other animals that are in the lake. Right.
Exactly.
Milk bottle. Same thing.
Mhm.
It takes a little bit of thinking, and people don't think. Well, they take the ship out and they go, and then they bring it back and they park it, and they. No, that's not. It's a monstrous machine. It is a city-sized machine, folks.
Well, Lonnie had a friend who had a small. I don't want to use the word yacht, but it was 14 feet long. I mean, decent sized boat.
Is a cruiser, right? Whatever.
And but he hired people to scuba dive and clean his boat on a monthly basis.
Right. There are people who do that, and that's fine. That's like the person who, every 3 months or 3,000 miles takes their car in, gets the oil done, or does it themselves, whatever.
Yep.
All of this is fine. But humans are machines too. That's part of the reason. If you go back in history to sailors back in the day, there are plenty of stories of the stories of mermaids came from? Stories.
I know it, but I don't remember it.
Well, there's
in my brain
some
somewhere.
of it is because of sailors that had scurvy. They didn't, and some of it is because of sailors that had been out way too long and they started just hallucinating, because we're group creatures. That's why we're all hanging out here at the bar tonight. We like to be in groups.
Social.
Humans do.